Chapter 1. The Shepherd's Heart. A Destiny in Waiting. A young boy sat on a grassy hillside, his eyes scanning the flock of sheep that grazed peacefully before him. His name was David, the youngest of all his brothers, often overlooked and forgotten. He spent his days in the quiet company of the animals, under the vast, open sky. He was not a prince in a palace. He was a simple shepherd with a simple life. No one would have looked at this boy, with his ruddy cheeks and his well-worn tunic, and thought he was destined to wear a crown. But God, who sees the heart rather than the looks, was already preparing a king's heart within this humble shepherd boy. Chapter 2. The Valley of Decision. Faith confronts fear. One day, the fate of a nation seemed to rest in a valley where two armies stood frozen in perfect lines. One powerful and strong, one small and fearful. On one side were the soldiers of Israel, and on the other, the Philistines. Between them stood a giant of a man named Goliath, his bronze armor gleaming in the sun. For 40 days, he had teased and terrified the Israelite army, his loud voice mocking their God and their courage. No soldier, not even the tallest or the strongest, dared to face him. Then, into this scene of crippling fear, walked David. He had only come to bring food for his brothers, but he heard the giant's defiant shouts, and his heart burned with righteous indignation. While terrified warriors saw an undefeatable giant, David saw an enemy of God. The victory over Goliath catapulted David from obscurity to fame. The people celebrated him, singing songs that praised him even more than their king Saul. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands, they sang. These songs were meant as a tribute, but they planted jealousy and fear in the king's heart. The same king who had once welcomed David into his court now watched him with suspicion and hatred. David's life was suddenly in grave danger, forcing him to flee for his life. His new home became the desolate wilderness, the dark caves of Adullam, the harsh deserts of En-Gedi. He was hunted like an animal. Saul and his army pursued him relentlessly. During these long, difficult years, David could have grown bitter. Instead, he leaned even more on the God he had come to know in the green fields. On two separate occasions, he found King Saul vulnerable, completely at his mercy. His men urged him to strike, to end the chase, to claim the throne that was prophesied to be his. Yet, David refused. He crept close enough to cut a piece of Saul's robe, but he would not harm the Lord's anointed. After years of waiting, David was finally anointed king over all of Israel. He led with wisdom and courage. He brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem and united the kingdom. Through all the winding paths of his life, from the pasture to the palace, from the battlefield to the cave, from triumphant sin to humble repentance, David's faith was the constant thread. It was this unwavering trust in God that prompted him, shaped him, and ultimately lifted him to become Israel's greatest king. God did not choose him because he was the strongest or the wisest, but because he saw a heart that would seek him above all else. The crown was not the goal. It was the outcome of a life lived in relationship with the King of Kings. Though his reign had troubles, many his own doing, he led with a shepherd's heart. He was remembered as a man after God's own heart because, despite his falls, his heart always returned to God, like a compass to north. Our journeys are built not on giant leaps, but on small, obedient steps. The secret prayer, the unseen integrity, the hard apology, the simple song of praise. These small acts of trust are the stones that build the foundation of a great destiny. Take one small, brave step of faith today, and in time you will find God leading you, just as he led the shepherd boy, from a simple field to a future beyond imagining. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.